So good evening, everybody. You're welcome to end of the market review and forecast for the 22nd of August 2024, brought to you by Trading Pro. Trading Pro is an international multi-award winning financial service provider. As you can see, you're marking their 8 years anniversary. If you are somebody who has good trading skills, you might go to the website and register for the forthcoming trading challenge. There's a trading triumph contest and the pool price is 8,888. So just head over, follow the instructions on how to register. You never can tell. It might be your time to shine. So that out of the way, let's get down to the economic calendar. So tomorrow, we have lots of high impact news coming in tomorrow. Tomorrow being the 22nd, we have lots of high impact news coming in for the euro and the British pound. Then the US dollar unemployment claims by 130, flash manufacturing PMI, flash services PMI tomorrow. You get, so all this is just what is cooking up tomorrow. So we need to be aware of that. It starts from 8:15 all the way to 9:30 for the euro. This will mainly affect EURGBP. And as it's going to affect EURGBP, it would have a hold on the directional bias. Because like I always say, if you wish to trade anything that has euro or GBPUSD, you need to have an idea of what the EURGBP is doing. Same also, if you wish to trade anything that has AUD, Australian dollar or New Zealand dollar, we need to know what ANZD is doing so that you'll be on the safe side. So that's out of the way. Let's get down to our pair. So we're going to start off with EURGBP, US 100, dollar index, Euro USD, GBP USD, gold, pound yen, and Euro yen. So starting off with the EURGBP, this pair is still under pressure. If you look at it on the daily, see the way the daily has closed. The daily will be closing in the next 45 minutes, and this formation is bearish. You see, it has tapped into this fair value gap, and it has rejected. It has tapped into this fair value gap, and it has rejected. So now the question is, will it break the low of Tuesday? Because this Tuesday, no, Monday's low. Will it break Monday's low? Because that's what we can't say. But if we go down to the 4-hour time frame, there's this inverted fair value gap here. So you see, it closed, went above, created it here, went above, then closed back below it. So we need to see this place hold as resistance. But if price is able to break above here and close above 85.44, then we might see lower prices on this pair. We might see lower prices on this pair. So this pair is still tilted bearish because we have, this is the broken range, 85.29 to 85.92. So worst case you get is a retracement into this range and a continuation back to the downside. So, but the Euro GBP is weak, which means across the board, you have a slightly weaker euro than a British pound. So the next one we're going to be looking at is the US 100. This pair did a lot of magic today. So it's still slightly below this high at 19,911. This pair is still bullish. This formation is bullish, but I would have preferred if this other candle had closed above this high. So what that means is that you might see a little bit of a retracement tomorrow first before a sweep of this high. So 1911, price is going to take it out tomorrow. Price is going to take it out tomorrow. You might see a bit of a retracement, just like if you remember when I was talking in the Zoom session, I said this gap here, it has to hold, and you can see they did not close outside it. And that's where you have the move back up. So this gap has to hold for them to continue their move up. Again, it's more like a consolidation now, but it will still move back up. As long as this 19650 holds. You get, as long as 19650 holds. So the next way we're going to be looking at is the dollar index. The dollar index, there is no plenty story here. This man is bearish. If care is not taken, he's coming for this low and a tiny fair value gap below. There's a tiny fair value gap here. Can you see it? Between this point and this point. There's a tiny fair value gap there. So most likely that's where they are going to bring price tomorrow. But it doesn't mean that it cannot retrace a bit. It can. There's a possibility it can, but there's a gap here. You see this gap here. So that gap may hold price and then see price lower. But most likely, they might be looking for 161. That's where they might be looking for on price. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is Euro USD. The Euro USD, not so much about this. It has swept 1.1139, and the daily fair value gap above price is where he is now. So we can see there's a long upper week rejection, which is as a result of the euro's weakness against the pound. So this pair, most likely you wait for retracement. You just wait for retracement and see if it will break out of this fair value gap. So you need to see what they do during Asia session. That's what you'll be waiting to see. So if you go down to the 1 hour time frame, the range is between this point to this point. So even if it starts to retrace, this low is a significant low. That's 1.1098. It may come into this fair value gap, or it might move lower. You never can tell. Or it might come down, even sweep this low, move into this fair value gap and continue to the upside. You can't tell what price will do, the pattern they will use, but just know that tomorrow it's going to be, might continue bullish. Because when you're trading, you need to think like a market maker. You need to think like those who create the market. If they intend to go up, they will make people believe they are going down. So just always have that at the back of your mind when you're trading. The next pair is the pound, dollar pound. This one, most likely, if care is not taken, is coming for this high, 31.43. That's if care is not taken, that's where he's coming for. And it might most likely happen. It might most likely happen. And this high is important. This high is important because if I go to the monthly, that's a yearly high. This is a yearly high. Let me see. 2023, this is the high of the year. This is the high of the year so far. So if you go to, you could say it's a monthly buy side liquidity, monthly buy side liquidity monthly, and then above it is a monthly fair value gap. So this is where price, if price sweeps that high, then you wait for it to move into this fair value gap on the monthly. It might happen. It might happen. That's from here to here is 57. That's 78 pips. It might not tap the fair value gap depending on what price does. Depending on what price does. So let's go back to the daily time frame. The daily is bullish, so it might sweep it. It most likely is going to sweep it tomorrow. Because you can see 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 straight bullish moves. So this upper week now might be to make people believe that it's going to sell off. You see, rejection to the top side. So if you look at this on the 1 hour time frame, you'll be watching all these fair value gaps to act as support and send price higher. So if you want to box, you're going to box 1.305 to 1.310. So you, worst case, if it comes down, this is where you should be expecting a 1.303, 1.3032. So this pair is still bullish. You don't want to be looking. Doesn't mean you can't sell it. You can sell it if it gives you a formation like this. If it sweeps this high, comes down, breaks the low, then you go something like this. But if you don't see this pattern, just stick to the prevailing trend. So the next way we're going to be looking at is Gold. Gold, like as I was explaining, this pair challenged the range low here. This range low to this range high. It's a master candle. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. Minimum of 4 candles, and you have a master candle. Gold is known to range, and when it breaks out of any range, there's been a rejection of the low. I don't know if it might still try to test the low, because if you look at it, it rejected this 4-hour fair value gap is acting as a resistance. But since it failed to go below, I'm of the opinion they might still challenge all these highs tomorrow. So this is looking like it has a long upper wick. So what that means is that if you might see a little bit of a retracement before a continuation to the upside, because this pair has a bullish breaker. This low, this high, sweep of this area, then close below. Now the low, the high that was used to break has been taken out, because this, all this candle here is a bearish order block. So since they've taken it, most likely they are going to challenge 25.20. That is what I'm sure of. 25.20, then 25.23, then before the high of that 4-hour master candle. So the next pair we're going to be looking at is pound yen. Pound yen did magic today. Those who were in the afternoon session, it gave 40 pips before it did the magic. That's why it's always good to manage your trades. For now, this pair can do anything, but it's still tilted to the downside. If you notice, it swept previous days low, swept previous days high. Now, if you go down to the 4-hour time frame, the 4-hour time frame, there was a fair value gap there. That was where price rallied into and rejected heavily. But if you were in the New York session, I gave this trade here. This was where I gave the sell. I gave the sell from here, and before it did that magic, it gave 72 pips. So if you managed your trade well, you'd have come out with a little bit of money. Somebody, how is the audio? Are you guys hearing me clearly? Is there any challenge with the audio? Oh, let me unmute you guys, sorry. How is the audio? Are you guys hearing me clearly?
I can hear you,
Loud
sir.
and clear.
So the person saying it's
Yeah.
cracking, please check your audio. Please check your audio. So that's why it's good to attend the sessions, because there was a good trade here. This trade gave from this high to this low here, gave 50. Yes, sorry, 50 pips. 50 pips or thereabout before it started to turn. So that's why it's always good. So this pair, for now, I can't see what they want to do. They swept the high. Will they sweep the low? I can't see. I can't see. Let me look at it on the 4-hour time frame. Let me look at it on any other higher time frame. I can't see what they intend to do, but this other block here is still holding. So I can't basically see until tomorrow. Let's see what they happen in Asia overnight. So the next pair and the last is the Euro Yen. The Euro Yen also did well today. Let's go to the daily. How is the daily closing? They're all closing with a long upper wick. The possibility exists they might still go down, but for now, I can't see. I can't see. I can't see what they are going to do, because I can't find the range candle, and they are not making new lows. They are not making new highs. The possibility exists that they might sweep this low and move higher, because the previous week's low is still intact and the previous week's high is still intact. So they might decide to sweep any of these lows and continue to the upside. Because if you look at it, there is no new low being made. Instead, you've swept liquidity to the downside, and they are leaving these highs, making people believe this is resistance. So most likely they might sweep everybody out tomorrow. So this pair gives some money. It gives some money because just like I said, wait for them to sweep this high. Rejection from this fair value gap. If you were in the afternoon session, this gave 54 pips. That will be roughly, depending on your lot size. So that's just it. So I think that does it for today. So we'll meet tomorrow. So we'll meet tomorrow by, tomorrow is Thursday. Okay, we're going to have training and a webinar tomorrow. We're going to have training and a webinar tomorrow. So we'll use the 10 a.m. to do live session. So we'll just have partial training and live session. So make sure you come in early tomorrow morning. So thank you all for taking your time to attend. I wish everybody a beautiful night's sleep and a blessed trading day
Hello, sir.
tomorrow. Yes?
Hello, sir. Sir, please, good. I did
No,
your
I've
voice
already
were so nice.
done about it. So good night, everybody.